Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here topic, which was inspired by a question on the comment board. I want to, Lord willing, I'll be able to answer this here question, and it'd be edifying, all right? So the question was asked. It says, I have a question. Now, please understand my question is by no means intended to be disrespectful, right? Which, hey, we here to answer questions, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, and sincere questions. And obviously, this is a sincere question, right? So, and really, at the end all be all, this here question is really it's not really that important. It's not expedient that, this is like the number one priority of what you should be trying to figure out or whatever, whatnot. But nevertheless, hey, we'll just go through and answer it anyway, But nevertheless, it says, I have a question. Now, please understand my question is by no means intended to be disrespectful. I'm just wondering if the majority of the women of our I am just wondering if the majority of the women in our nation is the enemy of our nation. All right, which that was the video that she made this here comment on. It was a video that I uploaded. It says 99% of that was never trust our enemy, but I wound up showcasing a couple videos in there. And it was, you'd have to watch the video, go into it about how, a lot of these problems is coming from these women because these women are raising up children without the fathers in the household, and these damn children are growing up and look what's going on, So really the only blame is on the mother right now, right? But nevertheless, it says, I'm just wondering if the majority of the women in our nation is the enemy of our nation. And obviously, if they are our enemy, they're part of the 2/3, which we'll address that as well, which you're correct about that. It says, and really it's just, let me just change this up. It says, I'm just wondering if the majority of the women of our nation is the enemy of our nation. All right. And really, ultimately, men and women, because they're the 2/3, and the 2/3 is a majority over the 1/3, but, for the sake of this here, what she's going into. All right. It says, and obviously if they're our enemy, they're part of the 2/3. Does that mean that there are more brothers that will outnumber the sisters as part of the 1/3? And so, like I said, man, this really isn't a question that's expedient for salvation. But nevertheless, we're gonna answer the question, through the scriptures. All right. So first and foremost, let's get into how the majority of our people are wicked. The 2/3. And when you go into the numbers that are on the planet, there's actually more women than there are men, and it's always been like that, But nevertheless, and that that's not even arguable. It's not even up for a debate. If there was you just think about it, man. If you had more men than women, you basically wouldn't have you'd have some men that wouldn't have women to basically procreate with, But nevertheless, a woman can get pregnant in a 9-month, basically a 1-year span. She can only get pregnant one time, But nevertheless, man have multiple women. Look at the examples we have in the scriptures. A lot of our forefathers had how you would say multiple baby mamas, or multiple wives and multiple baby mamas. Like for instance, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, right? He had 2 wives and 2 different baby mamas, a total of 4 women, to create the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. But nevertheless, let's go into this here, the majority being the 2/3, which are the wicked, which are going to get cut off and die. Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but a third shall be left therein. All right, this is simple fractions. All right, 2/3 are going to be cut off and die. All right, it's talking about the nation of Israel. So 66.6% of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're going to be put to death on this here side, man. All right, only a small remnant is gonna make it, and we say small in comparison to the whole house of Israel. All right, because there's gonna be a lot of people that make it, but nevertheless, it's gonna be a small number comparably to the nation of Israel. All right, so you're gonna have 144,000. All right, these are all men. All right, they on the highways and the byways prophesying and things like that. These are basically the men of the Lord. And then you have this 1/3, which is gonna be those that are hearkening to the words of the Lord, the men of the Lord, the men of the Lord, their families, their children, their wives, what I'm saying, also a friend of the prophet, a help of the prophet, Nevertheless, these people are going to consist of the 1/3, all right? Men, women, and children are going to be in their number. It's just that the 144,000, these are all men, all right? None of the 144,000 it's gonna be women or like little children or anything like that, But nevertheless, and unless that that little child is out there prophesying, but nevertheless, it's not gonna be like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, But it says verse 9, it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say it is my people, and they shall say Yahweh is my power. And it's clear and obvious who the who the 1/3 is right now. First and foremost, the 144,000. You know what I'm saying? You can read about that in Revelation 7. Ezekiel 9 and 4. They crying, sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Calling on the Most High's name. We open up our videos and our camps with giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? You ask us, we tell you what the name of the Father and the Son's name is. We don't hide behind it or whatever, whatnot. Tell you that you gotta only the initiate know or whatever, whatnot. Like I said, we open up all our videos like that. Anybody can click on our videos and find out what the name of the Lord is. So it's clear and obvious who these here people are. All right. Now the 1/3, like the scriptures say, they're gonna be brought through the fire. They're gonna be tried as gold and silver is tried, meaning you're gonna be refined. You're gonna be going through some things, and you're gonna be growing in this here truth. While the 2/3, they're gonna just basically be decaying. They just waxing worse and worse and worse. So just to answer the first point, about the 2/3, the majority of our people being wicked, and going also into the majority of the people on the planet Earth is more women than men. All right, so yeah, the majority of our people, the majority of the 2/3, are these women, and they're gonna be put to death, man. They're gonna die on this here side, man. Right? Where is that at? I can grab that too, but let me grab this real quick. Hopefully I don't forget that other precept. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. All right. It says, oh man. I want to read the other one first. Well, I'll come back to that. Micah 7 and 10. I was trying to put these precepts together like a song, because it breaks it all down, precept upon precept, line upon line. Micah 7 and 10. All right. Now we understand 2/3 gonna get cut off, right? It says, then she that is my enemy. Well, let me go back. To give the example about 2/3 getting cut off and dying, right? This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. This here mark is a spiritual mark. In fact, let me go into it real quick. Just real quick. All right. And really, this here mark is the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of this here truth, man. The Most High's name, his son's name. All right. So this isn't the same word. When you read about the mark of the beast, that word there is charagma. This here word, the proper way of saying this would be thawa. All right. So it says desire, a mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. So basically, these men, all right, who's going to get this here mark, all right, are going to get exempt from judgment. All right. Going into, you compare this up perfectly with the let me show you. It says set up Ezekiel 9 and 4 right here. It says, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations, right? Now, real quick, not to get too far off topic, Revelation 7 and 1, 7 and 3. It says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads, all right? With this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why the scripture also say in Matthew 24 and verse 14? Yeah, I think it is Matthew 24 and 14. And this gospel shall be preached into all the world, and then the end shall come. All right. So this is what it's talking about. It's like, look, don't bring the judgment until all the servants of the Most High are sealed on their forehead with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why we preaching, and then the end is gonna come. All right. But it says, now these people who got this here wisdom and knowledge and understanding on their forehead, in their foreheads, not as a physical mark, but as this knowledge that's gonna be able to call on the Lord's name. All right. Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. That's 144,000. Going back to Ezekiel chapter 9, now verse 5. Go back to verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Going back out to the men that's on the highways and the byways, preaching and prophesying. Verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye any pity. All right, talking about, it'll tell you down here. It says, Oh, it's actually in the next verse, verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maid and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin in my sanctuary, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so this is talking about the Israelites first and foremost, all right? Because before, really, Esau's getting his judgment, but before Esau's ultimately put out, man, the Most High is about to turn Jacob's trouble, man. The Most High is going to turn up on you Israelites first and foremost, man. He's about to utterly slay 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Men, women, and children, all right? That's going into the 2/3, But it says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, all right? And these going, reiterating who these men are that's going to be on the highways and the byways prophesying. The 144,000, they all men, right? Keep that in mind for when we go back to answering this here question about how many men versus how many women or whatever, whatnot, So from there, I want to go to Isaiah. Did I go to Micah? I think I read this. No. Let me go to Isaiah first. Isaiah, what is it? Slocky, give me a second. Isaiah 32:9, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. All right. So this is, because right now, how it all plays out, these women, first and foremost, they don't think that this is also going out to them, like we on the highways and the byways, and, women walk by, whatever, what. They don't think that has nothing to do with them. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they, for some odd reason, think this ain't got nothing to do with them, or they don't want to be a part of this. They don't want to hear the word of the Lord or whatever, whatnot. We get a lot more backlash from, women pacifiers than actually men. Some men will actually sit there and reason, and consider certain of these things, but women be like, oh, y'all got the devil horns on the Jesus picture. Oh, y'all ain't about the so-called white man. We don't want to hear that. Y'all talking negativity. We don't want to hear that. So look, they don't want to hear the Lord's voice, because the Most High told, hey, look, give them warning for me when they doing wickedness. You got to warn them, telling these women that they can't be going from rod to rod, man to man, or whatever, whatnot. That's wicked. There's not supposed to be any whores amongst the daughters of Zion. You all walking around halfway damn naked, twerking and shit. When we tell women that, they don't want to hear that, Isaiah 32:9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. All right, because I don't care. I don't want to hear all that. Hey, get up, pay attention, and get right, Verse 10, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. All right, yeah, because right now they got everything is in their favor right now, Just like, hey, man, for you, like you Jake men versus you Jake women, for you Jake men, how, hey, if you ain't got no money, you can't feed yourself, you know what I'm saying, or you ain't got no place to stay, don't nobody give a fuck about that, man. But let it be a woman, she gonna get food stamps, you know what I'm saying, she gonna get, every damn thing, you know what I'm saying, she gonna get all this, everything, man. She gonna get all these different perks or whatever, whatnot, just because she's a woman, So they at ease, they got everything coming for them, and plus they got all these men to take care of them, pay their bills. I mean, the women got multiple men to do multiple different things. One dude to pay this bill, one dude to pay that bill, one dude to fix this, one dude to take her out to eat, one dude to go to the club with, one dude to be on the Facebook with, and one dude to lay the pipe with, man. All right, so they don't really want for nothing. All they got to do, hey, they go on, these little social media sites or whatever, whatnot, like taking pictures inside, these designer stores. Oh, who want to buy me this here bag? Oh, who want to go on vacation or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, so they're at ease right now, they just whatever, they, the world is bowing down unto them and serving them. All right. Verse 11, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Because ultimately, this is really going out to all, the whole nation, men and women. But guess what? The women don't want to hearken into this. You got men. That's why the majority of us in this here truth is men, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? It's just coming up preaching this here word, because we logically understood, oh shit, man, this death and destruction coming, and we can't do shit about it. We might as well serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But these women, we don't want to hear that negativity, So, hey, they just keep pushing this off, whatever. Fuck that. We don't want to hear all that. That's too much negativity, right? So, give me a second. I don't know if I read this all, but let me read it again. Isaiah 32:11. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Humble yourself down, man. Basically, this is why 2/3 of our women is not gonna get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to humble themselves down. First and foremost, you need to be in subjection under a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the major stumbling block with our women. They don't want to be in subjection under a man. You know how disrespectful that is to not want to be in subjection under a man? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Who do you think that you are, man? We in subjection under a man. Yahushua, man. He's a man, ain't he? We in subjection under him. But guess what? 2/3 of our women, they too good to be in subjection under a man, man. But hey, that's why they gonna wind up, not making it on this side, right? So, going to the book of Micah finally, chapter 7 and verse 10. All right. Then she that is my enemy, all right, which we was just reading about, the ones that's at ease, careless, just living reckless, whatever, whatnot. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which say unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? That's why these women, man, you serve whatever kind of, that ain't my God, or whatever, whatnot. They laughing and scoffing, whatever, whatnot, going in, building the case to why 2/3, we dealing with the women right now, but 2/3 of our people gonna get cut off. And yes, you women about to catch this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It says, where is Yahweh thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the bar in the streets. All right. So look, you women are not exempt from this here judgment. All right. So 2/3, part of that 2/3 is going to be a lot of these women. All right. And just look around, man. Look around outside of the majority of the women that you see. Do a survey. Survey 10, 20, 30 women, right? Out of 30 women, just look at them and look at how, whether or not, you ain't got to talk to them or nothing like that. Just look at who you think is so-called being modest or whatever, whatnot. You could tell by their countenance, Out of about 30 women, majority of them was walking around with damn near their whole body revealed, tatted all up, you know what I'm saying? Probably looking like a dude or whatever, whatnot, a little stud or whatever, whatnot. They got all these different things going on. You could just tell, like, she ain't gonna get it, man. These women, they want to be independent women. Be thoughts and all kind of shit like that. You can just survey around, man. You're like, yeah, the majority of y'all ain't gonna make it, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, from the men's perspective, the men of the Lord that's in this here truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the only so-called righteous women that we see are the women that's on our, that subscribe to our channels and things like that watch, in silence and things like that. Those are like the only so-called righteous women that we see. But as far as physically seeing these women, we don't see these damn women nowhere, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't see these women nowhere, walking around nowhere, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is, man. The majority of these women are going to wind up getting cut off, man. All right? So, from there, we're going to go back unto... where was we just... let me go back to Isaiah 32. This is Isaiah 32 and verse 2. It says, a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. All right, so it says a man shall be a hiding place. Now, what kind of man is this? JJ from up the block or whatever, whatnot, Tron and them? Nah, this is talking about a righteous man, a so-called righteous man, because we know that none of us is actually righteous, but the men of the Lord, the ones that serving the Lord, These men, because why? Wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of their time. They're going to have this here truth, man. The Lord's going to wind up, we just read it, man, in Ezekiel 9 and 4, man. And they're going to be exempt from this here judgment, man. All right, we read about how they're going to be collected in the book of Revelations. All right, so look, these are all the righteous men. The Lord's going to protect them, right? It says a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, a covert from the tempest, He's going to basically be the hurricane shelter for the hurricane coming, And really, the hurricane is what? Jacob's trouble, That's like when the scriptures say, laugh now, cry later, roughly paraphrasing, or behold, my servant shall eat, and you shall be hungry, basically. Let me go, we read down there already. Yeah. So let me go from there to the book of Isaiah 4. This is Isaiah 4 and 1, right? It says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now, there's a lot that this here scripture is saying, all right? So it says, in that day, what day? The day of the Lord, when we're going through Jacob's trouble, all right? Also, to further edify on that, all right, we can grab this as well. But all of our people are going to be righteous in the kingdom of heaven, man. We're not going to have no wicked people in the kingdom of heaven. Nobody in our nation is going to be wicked. We ain't going to have no wicked women, no wicked children, no wicked men in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So it says, jumping down to the bottom, it says, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Again, these women wouldn't have no reproach in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be righteous already in the kingdom of heaven. So when it says, and in that day, all right, that day is talking about what? When we're going through the Lord's judgment, through Jacob's trouble, you know, when the Lord is bringing down judgment on the children of Israel, you know. So it says in that day, 7 women. All right, now 7 is a representation of a complete number. It's just saying that, you know, for instance, it could be 1 woman, it could be 2 women, it could be 5 women, it could be 10 women. It's a complete number of women, you know, just like, you know, like, hey, when you eating dinner or whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much do you want? Like, or your mama might ask you, did you have enough? You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily putting a weight amount. How many bites did you eat? Like, how many bites did you take? You know, how many chews did you have to eat all that food? You know, did you get enough chews? Did you get enough bites in? No, you're not counting it and calculating it like that. You eat until your belly is full. You're like, all right, well, did you have enough? Yeah, I think I done had enough, you know? So the same way here, man. All right, this we're talking about with 7 women. It's not saying that, look, every man is going to have exactly 7 different women, you know? Now, technically, it could be that way, but ultimately, it's talking about just a complete number. So it says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. Now, again, this 1 man is going back to what we was just reading, all right, in the book of Isaiah 32, all right, about the man being in a hiding place from the tempest, right? Again, what kind of man is this? Going back to Ezekiel 9:4. The only men that's going to be exempt from judgment is going to be the men of the Lord, the ones that's on the highways and the byways that's prophesying, all right, and then the 1/3. So by default, these women going to be getting with the righteous men of the Lord, all right? It says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. All right, so going in and eating our own bread and wearing our own apparel. Look at the society right now, man. Listen to Megan Thee Stallion and shit like that. Got songs like, you can't be broke if you're trying to fuck with me. You got to have a bag or whatever, whatnot. What the fuck she say? She say, something if he ain't spending it or whatever, whatnot, whatever. Basically going into prostitution, man. They got these women geared towards now is you know, back in the days, they're like, well, what he look like? You know what I'm saying? Or what kind of, you know, what is, you know, is he a good man? He a good father, whatever, whatnot. Nowadays, they be like, oh, how much money he got? What his bank account looking like? You know, and listen to these songs, man. These women tell you, like, don't matter. Like, they don't tell you not to get with no ugly nigga, no abusive man, no ugly man, no short man, no fat man, no uh, 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 whatever type of man. The only type of man they tell you not to get with is a broke man, you know? So basically, the society of these women are geared towards what? Having men that's basically going to just give them the money first and foremost to even talk to them, you know? But nevertheless, you know, this is the society that, you know, the way this society is geared, you know? Put these women up on top to where the man is serving the woman, all right? And obviously, we know, according to the scriptures, the woman is supposed to serve the man, all right? You can read about that in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16, where the woman's desire shall be towards her husband, all right? She's supposed to be a helpmeet unto her husband. He's not supposed to be serving her. It's the other way around, all right? Well, he served her in a way that, like, I mean, him being the head, she gonna get every damn thing, you know, beneath that, you know, just like how we serve Yahushua, right? You know, we do the work, the things he asked us to do, but in the end, we're going to be, joint heirs with him. You know, we're going to get a piece and a portion of all that he has, you know. So it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. So these women are going to be the righteous women, the so-called righteous women that's going to wind up making it, all right? And I keep saying so-called righteous because, again, none of us are righteous, you know what I'm saying? Only, you know, like Yahushua said, the only one that's good is the Most High, you know. So nevertheless, it says, we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. So this is the compare contrast. The women in this society today, they all about the money, all about the bag, what kind of money you got, whatever, whatnot. But these righteous women, so-called righteous women, they're going to humble themselves down, man. And they're going to see the, let me give you an example, right? This is Revelation 2:9. It says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, right? That's all I wanted to grab here. So here Yahushua is saying, look, I know thy works, thy tribulation and poverty, right? Poverty is, let's go into it. I didn't mean to make this that long, but nevertheless, beggary, all right? Condition of one being destitute of riches and abundance, right? So it says, Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, right? So in a carnal sense, you know what I'm saying? We basically in poverty. You know what I'm saying? We now some of us actually, you know, some of the men of the Lord, like I said, some of us actually got money in this. You know, some of us were celebrities, you know, or had money from whatever we were doing in the world, whether we were athletes, celebrities, or whatever, whatnot. You know, or just got good paying jobs. You know, or you know, whatever our situation was. You know, some of us actually do have a pretty decent amount of money, but nevertheless, as a whole, you know, the way that we looked at it in this here society, all right, you see us on the highways and the byways, man. They always calling us bums on the highway. Like at our camp, man, we be having literally these homeless bums that's sitting out on the side of the road with their little sign say, hey, look, God bless, anything helps. We hungry, whatever. They got the little cardboard sign and everything. These little bastards be sitting on the side of us and they talking shit about us, telling some, hey, y'all go get jobs. Like, wait a minute, how the fuck you got a sign begging for food and shit? Our signs ain't asking for no goddamn money and shit like that. In fact, we spend money to go out to go do the work, man. We got to travel, pay tolls, pay for parking. You know what I'm saying? And the gas that we spend to go out there, man, we paying to go do all of that, man. You out here begging for money. But yet and still, you know, people look down upon us. And these women, man, they go, y'all, whatever, whatnot, you know? Especially brothers just, you know, we don't be edging ourselves up or whatever, whatnot, and really caring and trying to be looking all so-called nice comparatively to this here world, you know, so people think and look at us like we just broke, you know, or whatever, whatnot, whatever the case may be. But what we actually, it says, I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we, first and foremost, being the first fruits, all right, we got this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on this here side. This is the most valuable thing in this. It's the only ticket that you're going to get the fuck about this here destruction, man. It's the only train, the only ride about this bitch, man. That's the most valuable thing that there is on this here planet Earth, man. This here truth, man. All right, and what? The men of the Lord, they have that first and foremost, all right? And in a wider scale, all right, the children of Israel, even the 2/3, all right, because why? They're going to come back in a regeneration, all right, in the kingdom of heaven, and they're going to all be righteous, and they're going to all inherit the kingdom of heaven, just like the rest of all of Israel is going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. We're going to live forever, man. All right, so they're going to get all the riches and things like that too, but they got to die on this here side. But ultimately, they still Israelites, so that's the ultimate riches, man. You know what I'm saying? Once we get into the kingdom of heaven, you know what I mean? Because at that point, we ain't going to need salvation no more. But, hey, that's why we're rich, man. Even though we don't have it right now, we still got it, you know, on that side. You know, it's like you being in jail, right? You in jail and you doing a 10-year bid or whatever, whatnot. But you like, let me think of any of these motherfuckers right now. I can't even think of any of these celebrities. Martha Stewart, right? Martha Stewart, right? She went to jail. She was in prison, right? I don't know. She might have went to prison for like a year or whatever, whatnot. When she was in prison, you know, inside the prison, yeah, she kind of poor. She can't, you know what I'm saying, do what she want to do inside the prison or whatever, whatnot. I mean, she can get her commissary and put money on her books. But technically, comparably to the people outside the world, she's broke in there. But soon as she get back up out of prison, like, well, I know your poverty right now. You eating this bologna sandwich and shit like that and so on and so forth. You got this little bitty sale, but when you get out of jail, you're going to be right back to the millions again. You already got it in your account. You just got to get out of jail in order to get it, you know? And that's us right now. We in prison right now. But look, once we get out and we can go hit that ATM machine up, we're going to be good again. Once we get out, we on top again, man. As soon as they release us, then we got a goddamn Phantom outside, a Rolls Royce, a Maybach, whatever the fuck your heart's desire is. That shit's outside the prison. You ain't even got to ride the prison bus about this bitch. As soon as you get up out here, you know, when they return your items, they're going to be giving you 100 stacks. You know what I'm saying? All your jewelry, all your Rolls Royce, all that shit. As soon as you get up out of jail. So, yeah, we in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got our jewelry on inside of prison. We ain't got our Rolls Royces in prison. So we what? We in poverty. But guess what? Ultimately, we rich because once we get up out of jail, we're going to be straight. Now, going back to Isaiah, this is the point that I was trying to make, right? Isaiah 4:1, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Again, the women of this here world is looking for that man with the bag right now. Oh, nah, nigga, you in jail, man. I can't fuck with you. You ain't got no bag right now. Whatever, whatnot. I want this dude that's out here with the bag. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go with him, right? But not knowing, like, but his money temporary. You know, he got 10 bands in the bank. I got 100 million in the bank. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get out of jail next month anyway. Like, see, you know, your eyes is looking at the short term instead of the long term. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get the little $10,000 right now instead of trying to get this 100 million next month. You know, so the same way with these here women, man. These the ones that's gonna wind up being saved. They're gonna look past all the so-called carnal shit. You know what I'm saying? Us not being so-called groomed according to this here world. You know what I'm saying? Us spending all of our time dedicating ourselves to the Lord and things like that. They'll see that as being way more attractive than things of this here world. Oh, this nigga got Jordans on. This nigga got a fresh lineup. This nigga got this kind of car, that kind of car. Nah, these women ain't gonna be seeing those type of things, all right? So it says in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, all right? A complete number of women gonna take hold of that one righteous man, all right, which we read about, the 144,000, all right, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, all right. They want to be what? When you call a woman by your name, basically telling them, look, we get married. When you get married, you give a woman your name, right? Basically, the man shall cleave, be with his parents, you know what I'm saying, until he go to with a woman, you know what I'm saying, and then the two should become one flesh, you getting married once they become one union, but nevertheless, so these women is like, look, we'll take care of ourselves financially and things like that, we'll make our own food and our own bread, we'll even take care of you and shit, you know what I'm saying, but look, let us just be called by thy name, let us be called, basically, rough, putting it rough, let us be called your property, because we know that you and your property gonna wind up making this shit, man. So we want to be with you, just like you can see this played out in the movie The Book of Eli, right? You seen Denzel Washington going to that bar, right? Now, mind you, Denzel Washington was blind the whole damn time of the movie, right? You find that out at the end, but that's spiritually showing that the men of the Lord are going to be walking by faith, all right? Wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of that time. The Lord is going to be guiding you, not your carnal eyes. That's why they showed him being blind in the movie, because that's how the elect's pretty much going to make it. That's what that movie was about. But nevertheless, you see he's in the bar trying to get some water, and he's in the bar with the area's most toughest, roughest gang, street gang or whatever, whatnot, and the girl is in there, right? The girl that's in there, whatever, whatnot. Now, I don't know if she got kidnapped by them or she just decided to go with them because they was the number one protection. She would be safer with them than with whatever. I don't know what her scenario was with them, but she was with them, right? Denzel going to the bar. They wound up getting into a fight. He wound up whooping everybody ass up in the damn bar, right? So, homegirl, again, this is a representation of these here righteous women, She's not looking at with her physical eyes. Oh, it's more of them than him, whatever, whatnot. I know what they could do, whatever, whatnot. Look at her spiritual eyes. Oh, shit, this motherfucker just took all these guys out. I'm better off with him than them. Like, look, she was like, let me follow you. He's like, nah, you going to just slow me down and I got to take care of your ass. She's like, no, I'll take care of you. I'll help you mend your wounds. I'll even draw the water for you. I'll do this and I'll do that. He's like, nah, you going to slow me down. He's like, no, I'll help you out. I'll provide for you. That's the same way in this here truth, man. When this here time come, man, the men of the Lord, right now, we're not even in the mindset of choosing these women up, man. We're not in the mindset of trying to get no women or whatever, whatnot. And that day, these women that's going to be ordained to make it, they're going to be coming out of the woodwork begging to be with the men of the Lord, And this is going into, your question as far as how many of these women versus the men, all right? Now, in this society, women don't want to be at a so-called polygamous relationship, multiple women to one man, they ain't with that shit at all right? But at the same time, again, going back to the movie Book of Eli, these righteous women, they're gonna humble themselves the fuck down and they're gonna just fall in order, especially if you're watching the videos and you understand how this thing goes anyway, what I'm saying? You be a man of the Lord with a woman. Just think about this, all right? We're going into the numbers now. If every man of the Lord had him a woman, there'd be a lot of women that ain't gonna make it, man. First and foremost, it's 144,000 men. All right. Now, if all of them had women, that's 144,000 women. Now we're going into the 1/3. Now, part of the 1/3 is gonna be what? The 144,000. Their, some of their family. You know what I'm saying? Their friends and things like that. The people that hear their word. Some of the sheep that hear their word, and some of those are men. So, where these women gonna be at? Now, going from there to further edify on that case, let me go to. Let me go back there real quick. Isaiah 4:1 says, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now, let them be called by thy name. Again, going into the marriage, and what is marriage, basically? When you have sex with this here woman, you know what I'm saying? So, from there, we're going to go to, we almost done here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Notwithstanding, it's talking about the woman, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. All right. So look, these women, back in what we just read in Isaiah 4:1, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. So not necessarily saying that you're going to impregnate every last one of these women on this here side. Like, in order for these women to make it, they got to be pregnant by the men of the Lord before we go into Jacob's trouble or when we get into Jacob's trouble. No, it's not saying that. But nevertheless, ultimately, that's pretty much what it's going to be like. You know what I'm saying? These women, the reason that these women are going to be slated to make for salvation is for the fact of being the mothers of the children of Israel. All right, they have a job. They number one job, and when they get into the kingdom of heaven, really their only job, one of their only jobs in the kingdom of heaven, they're gonna be serving their husband. All right, but nevertheless, is to bear children, all right, to bring back the nation of Israel, all right. So it says, 1 Timothy 2:15, notwithstanding she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in the faith and in charity and holiness with sobriety, all right. So, with charity given and holiness, being separate from this here world, not trying to partake in this rest of this world, doing what the fuck the rest of these people doing, and being sober minded. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily being like, oh, I want to go out and go do this, they doing that, oh, you lame or whatever, whatnot. Again, going back to Isaiah 4:1, these women are a whole lot different than their mindset is completely different than the rest of these women. All right. So now, to finish this all up and to answer your question, in the book of Isaiah 60, last verse, 60 and 22, and a little one shall become 1,000. Well, let me go to verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous, right? So now, going back to Isaiah 4:1, those women want to take away their reproach, all right? In that time, and in that day, 7 women, what day? The day of the Lord, to take away our reproach. They're going through Jacob's trouble, all right? Ezekiel 9:4, these men are going to be exempt from judgment. So we know that this here time frame is going on during Jacob's trouble time, basically. The Lord is bringing down judgment, right? Now, what we're reading here in Isaiah 60 and 21, this is talking about once we get into the kingdom of heaven, all right? Isaiah 60 and 21. So Jacob's trouble is already passed, all right? Now, the women that's slated to make it, they've already made it, right? It says, Isaiah 60 and 21, thy people also shall all be righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that I might be glorified. So, again, we know that this is in the kingdom of heaven because of why? They're going to all be righteous. Really, you can read starting up at verse 17, all right? And going on down, verse 18, violence shall be no more heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gates praise. All right. So again, this is talking about when we in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Everybody going to be righteous. The men, the women, the children, everybody's going to be righteous. First and foremost, starting with the first fruits, right? The first fruits, the 144,000 and the 1/3 that's going to make it on this side. They got righteous, so-called righteous on this side. They pretty much, was covered by the blood of the Lamb. So all their sins is going to be blotted out on this side. They're going to transition into the kingdom of heaven, being the first fruits. We're not going to wind up dying, all right? We're going to wind up being saved up out of here, and we're going to continue on in your regular life. Well, you're going to be translated from this here foul-ass body into the spiritual bodies, all right? Our celestial bodies, those new bodies, all right? We're going to be in a whole new body, but we're going to still continue on living here, all right? Now, the men that made it through this here, let me read the next verse. Verse 22. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in his time. In his time. So, when we get into the kingdom of heaven, right, the men of the Lord, the 144,000, all right, and then going into the 1/3, but mainly, because the 1/3 consists of men, women, and children, right? Let's just focus on this 100. Let's focus on the 1/3, right? Men, women, and children. Let's just focus on just the men in the 1/3, right? Let's say that every man in the 1/3 has a woman, right? So you so-called even themselves out. Now, guess what? The 144,000, there ain't no women for them, all right? Because they was all taken by the 1/3. The 1/3, they balance themselves out. For instance, if the 1/3 is a total of 100 people that's going to be saved, right? And there's 50 men and 50 women, right? And then guess what? The 144,000, they ain't gonna have no women at all. All right. So, and that's just dealing with the 1/3. All right. So how is it that the 144,000, how are they gonna be reproducing? How are they gonna want to reproducing if the 1/3 pretty much divided up all the women? Again, for an example, if there's 50 men that make it and 50 women that make it a part of the 1/3, the men, is one to one. There's one man to every one woman. 144,000 still don't have any women to procreate with, and we damn sure we're gonna be all righteous. So the 144,000 not gonna be sleeping with another man's woman, But nevertheless, going back into that, now you have like I said, man, it's definitely gonna be more women than men. All right, going back to Isaiah 4:1, 7 women, a complete number of women. So if every 144,000 man has one woman, all the 1/3 men have one woman, all right, then, you know what I'm saying, there's still going to be some women that's going into the kingdom of heaven that's not going to have a man to impregnate them, right? So what is the purpose of these women going into the kingdom of heaven if they're not going to be bearing no children? They're not going to have a purpose, all right? Same likewise with a man going into the kingdom of heaven. What's the point of him going into the kingdom of heaven as the first fruits if he ain't going to have no children, all right? Because you have to understand that 2/3 is going to get cut off, right? They're going to all die, but we got to repopulate and bring the nation back once we get into the kingdom of heaven. You look back at the days of Noah, right? It's the same shit that's going on, right? You had Noah, which would be representation of 144,000. His sons, which would be the representation of the 1/3, going into the 1/3, and then their wives, right? Now, Noah, wound up making it with his sons and their wives. And then when they got off of the boat, what was the commandment? To be fruitful and multiply and replenish, the people on the face of the earth, populate the face of the earth, So every man that was on that boat had a job to do. He had to, Noah had already had kids, with Ham, Shem, and Japheth, but his sons, all right, there wasn't, let's just say, for instance, Japhet. It wasn't like Japhet didn't have a woman and he just made it through, but he wasn't going to procreate. You would have been better off just dying off with the rest of the people because your lineage is going to stop there anyway. Or if there was an extra woman on the boat, you know what I'm saying? And it was just going to be a one-to-one. Ham got his woman, Japhet got his woman, and Shem got his woman. But then you got this extra woman on the boat that is not with nobody. Well, who the fuck's going to impregnate her? So now you got more women on the boat than you got men. All right, so you can get a woman pregnant. You got this woman knocked up or whatever, whatnot. Now, while she's pregnant, you got one in the oven. You go get another one knocked up, man, and another one knocked up all at the same time. You're gonna go get multiple women knocked up. All right, so that constantly all the way around the world, you got women constantly having babies because you might not want to hear that or whatever, whatnot. But you got to understand, the majority of our people gonna get cut off and die. We got to repopulate and bring our people back, man. All right, the Most High is about to bring us all back from a small number, man. All right, and this is gonna be done by these men impregnating all these women, man. All right, we about to have our heart's desire. Again, let me give you one more precept for our closeout. Matthew 19 and verse 27. And then Peter, Peter being part of the 144,000, right? The elect, all right? Then Peter said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So some of the things you want to forsaken would be what? Well, let me just read on down. Verse 28, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that which you have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, being the first fruits, right? Being joint heirs. Verse 29, and everyone that has forsaken houses, brethren, sisters, father, mother, wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So the men of the Lord, the ones that follow Yahushua, all right, his disciples, right? They wind up giving up everything on this here side, man. They put the Lord first and put everything else on the back burner, spending time with our women or whatever, whatnot, 9 times out of 10, that led to our women leaving us or whatever, whatnot. So we forsook our wives, our women, Can't spend time with our children. She might want to take our kids away from us or whatever, whatnot, so on and so forth. But what we just read in Isaiah 60, man, a small one gonna be 1,000, and a little one gonna should be a strong nation, or a little one should be a small nation, But nevertheless, going into this, man, the 144,000, first and foremost, they gave up all these things to push this here work, man, and they're gonna be rewarded with 100-fold, man. So going into this is we forsook having kids. Some of us have kids, but a lot of us, forsook having kids. Like, yo, man, we need to focus and do this here work. If I have a kid, I gotta dedicate all my time to that right now, man. So I'm gonna put that off right now. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is not unrighteous to forget our work and our labor of love. You know what I'm saying? If he promised us all these children, all these wives, or whatever, whatnot, he gonna come through with it, man. Just like Abraham with Isaac, man. Abraham was promised that Isaac, he was gonna have a multitude of nations come out of him, basically, But how could this be possible if I put him to death? All right, well, hey, you got to have faith in the Most High that even if you do put him to death, he can raise him back up and still give you seed, man. So the same way here, man. Hey, look, if I don't procreate, my lineage is going to get cut off right here and just die. That's going to be the end of me, man. Nah, man, have faith in the Most High, man. The Most High will bring you through this here destruction and give you an abundance of seed, man. He'll give you, hey, we're going to read it one more time and close out. Isaiah 60 and 22. And a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. All right, a little one shall become 1,000. Just some, not to say insignificant, brother, but one of the, comparably on a scale to the most important. What I'm saying, like you got King David, right? Then you just got, one that was scarcely saved. One at the very last minute. Hey, a little one, he gonna become 1,000. He gonna wind up having 1,000 children, and then a small one, a strong nation. All right, he gonna wind up having a whole nation of children. All right, and the only way to this, you ain't gonna be able to do this with one woman. You're going to need multiple women to be able to accomplish this, man. All right, you're going to be constantly getting them pregnant over and over and over again, all right? So just reading through the scriptures and spiritually discerning through all this, it's obvious that it's going to be more women, all right, than it is going to be men on this here side, man. So that the men going to wind up having multiple women to impregnate and bring back the children of Israel once we go through this here transition, all right? It's not going to be like the judgment going to come down, we're going to go up into heaven, and then we're going to come back down or some shit like that, and then like well, we are going to be in the chariots when the destruction come, and we are going to come back down, you know what I'm saying, in their spiritual bodies, but it's not like the Lord going to just snap his fingers and then everybody going to be repopulated like that. You know, they're going to just start, you know, walking up out the water and shit. No, every last person that's, you know, these 2/3, every last one of them that's dying off, they're going to come back from the nutsack of one of these 144,000 men and going into some of the 1/3, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to come out the wombs of these women that's going to wind up making it in this transition. The ones that's going to be saved through your womb, these, you know, the 2/3 is going to come back. You know what I'm saying? And unless you want to be trying to pump out 1,000 babies your damn self, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's not how it's set up, man. It's going to just be like in the old ways. You know what I'm saying? The Most High didn't have, you know, just Rachel or just Leah have all 12 tribes, you know, all 12 children, you know. Nah, he had 12 tribes come out of 4 different women. But, all right, it's going to be the same way when we get into the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, so when we get into the kingdom of heaven, man, it's 7 women going to take hold of 1 man, all right? The man of the Lord gonna have, you know, a complete number of women. We're gonna be translated into the kingdom of heaven. 2/3 gonna be cut off and die. All right. And then when we get into the kingdom of heaven, you know, primarily these women's first job is gonna be what? Getting pregnant and replenishing the children of Israel. All right. But before then, they're gonna basically be getting with the men of the Lord, you know. And at the same time, man, hey, if you going through Jacob's trouble, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see a man of the Lord, he got a woman or whatever, whatnot, you're gonna be like, oh, well, he got a woman. Is he? I don't like sharing or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? No, you gonna humble down, like, well, shit, he might have a woman or whatever, whatnot. But hey, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can I be called by thy name to take away this reproach? I don't want to catch judgment. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a man of the Lord. I know the scriptures say this and that. I know you got a woman or whatever, whatnot. But can I also be one of your wives? So to take away this reproach, man. You know, I'm willing to serve you. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm casting off this here world and the way that this world thinks. You know, where these women don't want to be having, you know, a man having multiple women and things like that. Nah, man. If you don't want to get caught up in this here Jacob's trouble and shit like that, when you seeing all this, if you was allotted to be saved, man, it's gonna click into your mind, man. Even if he got a woman or whatever, whatnot, you still gonna try to get with him. If your pride overtake you, then and be like, nah, I ain't sharing my man, whatever, whatnot, whatever, what. Well, you gonna just die on this side, man. All right, that's being wicked, man. All right. So Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying and answered your question. All right. Until next time, I say call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone and taught us this truth and that rule will. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the 4 corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say stay strong and shalom.